Welcome to the Chop Seat, where Braves country meets the big leagues. Your host Vic is here to break down everything from truest part to the top of the standings across the league. From walk-offs to wild trades, this is your seat for everything baseball, but a heavy dose of chop. So grab your glove and settle in, because the Chop Seat is open.
Welcome to the Chop Seat, your favorite place for Braves baseball and the rest of the league. I'm your host, Vic, and today is Monday, October 6th. Listen, we had some more playoff baseball over the weekend. A couple of game ones and game twos. Today, we have some more game twos on the National League side. American League is taking a break. They'll be back into the action tomorrow. But we had some really, really exciting games. We're going to catch up with those when we get to the MLB. We're going to talk about some Braves news. Not much going on when it comes to the Braves, but a little something that we can go ahead and talk about. So we're going to catch you up with that as well. So let's dive right into the action. Let's get into our first segment.
It's time for Tomahawk Takes.
It's time for Tomahawk Takes, where we take a look at the action from the previous Braves series. Just kidding. We're going to look at the current Braves news, current Braves headlines. And Tomahawk Takes is brought to you by SeatGeek. Use code CHOPSY20, as you can see below, to get $20 off your first purchase on SeatGeek. Go use code CHOPSY20 to catch yourself some playoff baseball. Every single pitch counts, every single swing, every at-bat. You can feel the tension when it comes to playoff baseball. So use code CHOPSY20, $20 off your first purchase any ALDS and NLDS baseball game. So let's head into what the news that we got over the weekend. I believe the exit interview for the end of season press conference was on Friday. Alex Anthopoulos, Braves GM, speaking on the matter regarding Brian Snitker, how he stepped down from his current position and moved into his senior advisory role. They asked Anthopoulos pretty much if, Snitker was pushed out or if it was on his own terms, as we were kind of, just questioning it a bit. I kind of thought that he might have been pushed out after seeing his initial response in his interview, Brian Snitker's interview, when he broke out the news. But Alex Anthopoulos, he said that it was Snitker's decision to move on and step down from the manager role. And he actually revealed that Brian Snitker was or is on the contract until or through the 2030 season. Apparently in January, when January 2023, when that extension was announced, that 3-year deal that was announced for Brian Snitker remaining as manager, it was actually an 8-year deal that had him serving as the manager until 2025, and then continuing 5 years later on down the line to 2030 as a senior advisor. But he did say that it was up to Snit after the 2025 season if he wanted to continue managing or start being a senior advisor. So I guess that's what went down. That's the stuff that was behind the scenes. Again, we got to believe what they're saying, right? We got to believe what they're saying. That's all that we're getting from that department. So you got to trust AA. You got to trust in AA at all times. You got to trust in him. So they also asked him during that exit interview if he had started looking into manager candidates. He said that all those names that are going out there, that's all speculation. He hasn't even started a list as yet. He said he wanted to do the farewell interview with Brian Snitker and then start looking into any managerial candidates. So as of Friday, he had not started looking into who will be taking over the helm at the manager position for the Atlanta Braves. So, I mean, we'll still see. We'll see if he's going to go in-house, maybe with Walt Weiss, if he's going to go former Braves player, someone like David Ross or Mark DeRosa, or if he's going to go someone outside of the organization completely. And is it going to be someone that has managerial experience or does not? We don't know. We know how Anthopoulos is. He's very under the radar. He's going to keep everything on their wraps before it gets released. So, I mean, we'll see. We'll see what kind of route he goes. Like I said in the previous episode, the only thing I want him to do is go with a guy or a gal that puts more importance into feel of the game rather than analytics. You feel of the game, you can't quantify that. You can't quantify anything that you cannot quantify is more valuable than anything else. So listen, you can't quantify feel of the game. Analytics, yes, you can get values on all these different things. It's kind of like a clutch player. You can't quantify that. There's no way. I know that now, as of late, they have a certain stat that kind of measures how clutch you are, but it can't measure it fully. You can't tell me you're going to measure that fully. And that's the same thing with having a feel for the game. You can't quantify that. And I want him to get someone with that old school feel. And yes, you can use analytics as a valuable tool, but I don't want whoever takes over to fully rely on analytics. That's all I'm worried about. So hopefully that's not the case when it comes to whoever Anthopoulos ends up hiring. Also, Chipper Jones, he's another guy that has been mentioned as heading into the managerial position. But we've always said that he has mentioned publicly, or before the weekend, he had mentioned publicly that it was just too much. He wants to spend time with his kids and all that. He was actually on 680 The Fan down in Atlanta, and they asked him if he was open to manage. And he said that his family is okay with it. His family's okay with him becoming a manager. He also said that they enjoyed when he was doing I think it was a futures game over the All-Star break, that they enjoyed that very much. So that at this point, it's not that his family, would be holding him back. He said in his own words, pretty much, he said that the part that he said he doesn't feel like managing. He doesn't feel like it. If he wants to, he could, but he does not want to manage. He did say that he would be interested in being a hitting coach at some point down the line. So, I mean, I do think he can still be a great manager. I think he's cutting himself short a little bit. I do believe that he can be a great manager. He knows the game, Hall of Fame player. He knows how the game strategies, how the game operates. So I do think he'll be a good manager if he ever decides to do that at some point. But hey, Anthopoulos, listen. If he says he's down to be a hitting coach, what are you waiting for, buddy? Sign my guy up. Put him on. We need a better offense, obviously. We need that old school offensive approach also. We need some contact. If you see how the Brewers are doing it, the Toronto Blue Jays this postseason, they're putting the ball in play. They've done it all season. That's the offense that we need. You can't live and die by the homers. You cannot do that, because the day you're not hitting homers, it's GG's, it's curtains, bro. You're not going anywhere. You're not winning any ball games. So yeah, Anthopoulos, hit up Chipper, man. Give him an interview. I know he's been in a special advisory role as well with the club. I think in 2023 he was, maybe the year before that as well. So, just give him a call, man. Give him a call, give him an interview, see how that goes, and we'll go from there. But that's the news when it comes to Anthopoulos, Brian Snitker, and the decision for him to move on to the advisory role, and the rumors when it comes to managerial candidates. And also over the weekend, Skip Schumacher, who was one of the most popular, the speculation was he was one of the most popular candidates to be the next Braves manager. That's out of the window. He becomes the manager for the Texas Rangers, as other people were speculating would happen. So you could cross him off your list if you had him as a candidate. But that's that. We go to player moves. We have 5 players that were outright and DFA'd before the weekend. It was Jared Kelenic. This was before last episode, and that's my apologies. I completely forgot to mention this. But it was Jared Kelenic, Alexis Diaz, Dane Dunning, Sandy Leon, and Luke Williams. They were all DFA'd. That was on October 1st. And then the next day, October 2nd, they all or I think Sandy Loan came a little bit later on, but they all elected for free agency. So those are 5 spots off of the 40-man roster. Of course, the Braves need to activate all those guys that they have injured on the 60-day IL, 15-day IL, all those guys that they have on the IL. They got to come back. I believe it's a week after the World Series is over with. So you got to start making room when it comes to the 40-man roster. You got to start making room. So that's what Anthopoulos is doing. So 5 spots have opened up. Pretty sure there's plenty more that need to be opened up. So we'll see who starts getting cut left and right shortly. And then I saw another stat. This was in regards to the Braves season. This is kind of like a funny stat going. But the Braves, they use a total of 71 players this season. That is an MLB record. 71 total players, almost 2 40-man rosters. That's insane. 9 players short of having 2 40-man rosters. That's scary, man. That's just so you can know how bad of a year we had, especially when it came to injuries. It was nuts. And then remember, Alex Anthopoulos was going crazy on the waiver wire towards the end of the season. So, he definitely got that number up. And the Braves used a total of 46 pitchers and 19 different starters this season. So, listen, that's a franchise record actually for both of those stats there. 46 different pitchers and 19 different starters. Again, plenty of injuries to go around this year. We thought last year was bad. This year was even worse. Hopefully this is it for the injuries, man. Hopefully they're able to figure something out and figure out how to keep our players on the field. But that's all I have for Tomahawk Takes. Not too much going on. Just a little bit of some news updates. Hopefully next episode we have a little bit more that we can talk about when it comes to the Atlanta Braves. But now we're going to head into the next segment so we can talk about how these division series all went down.
It's time for the MLB.
To the MLB, where we take a look at the action from around the league. We have some new series that all started on Saturday. We're going to start over at the National League. The National League Division Series featuring 2 NL Central teams. It was the Chicago Cubs at the Milwaukee Brewers. The Cubs coming off that victory against the San Diego Padres in the wild card round. It was Matthew Boyd starting for the Chicago Cubs, but unfortunately he goes 2 and a third. 4 hits allowed, 6 runs, 2 of those earned, 1 walk and 1 strikeout. Freddie Peralta was on the mound for the Milwaukee Brewers. He goes 5 2/3, 4 hits, 2 runs, all those earned, 3 walks, and 9 Ks. And listen, the Cubs did get to the action. They got the action started first. It was Michael Busch. He got the Cubs on the board in the top of the first. He hits a solo homer off of Freddie Peralta. But Milwaukee, they answered back with 6 of their own in the bottom of the first. They started going crazy. Bryce Terang hits a double. Willie Contreras doubles him, and Sal Frelick reaches on an error. Contreras scores. Blake Perkins has an RBI single. Jackson Churrill, he had a 2-run single. That made it 6-1. And then on the bottom of the second, Milwaukee, they don't take their foot off the gas. They scored 3 more. Caleb Durbin with a 2-run single. Jackson Churrill, his name, you heard him earlier. Jackson Churrill with an RBI single. He was 3 for 3 in the first 2 innings. You heard that correctly. He had 3 at-bats in the first 2 innings. He goes 3 for 3 in the first 2 innings. Unfortunately, he had to leave the game running on that same play. He was running hard to first, trying to get that infield single. He reached safely, of course, but he was taken out with a hamstring injury. I think he was out early in the year with a hamstring injury as well. So they took him out as a precaution. I believe Pat Murphy says he's okay. It's not as bad as before. And I think Jackson Churrill related the same statement as well. So it looks like he's probably going to get a day off. He's probably going to be out today for game 2. But, another rest day in between a travel day. So hopefully he's back in game 3 for the Milwaukee Brewers. But again, that made it 9-1. It was just shellagging by the Milwaukee Brewers. The Cubs were able to score 2 more. Ian Happ and Nico Hoerner, they both had homers later on, but that was not enough. Of course, Milwaukee Brewers, they take game 1 a 9-3 victory in this one. Aaron Savali also, shout out to him for the Cubs. He ate up some innings. He went 4 1/3, 3 hits, no runs, no walks, and 3 Ks. So he was able to eat some innings, and he was productive while at it. Next, and before we go to the next series, game 2 of this series is going to be tonight. It's going to be at 9:08 p.m. Eastern time. It's going to be Shota Imanaga going up against Aaron Ashby. They're going opener. Milwaukee's going opener. Maybe they're going to have Quinn Priester piggyback off of him. We won't know until we see the game later on tonight. We don't know what Pat Murphy's thinking, but it might be that. We'll see. We're going to have to stick around and see. But remember, again, game 2 is going to be tonight. Shota Imanaga against Aaron Ashby, 9:08 p.m. Eastern time. Next, we go to the American League side. The New York Yankees at the Toronto Blue Jays, game 1 of the set. Luis Hill, he was on the mound for the Yankees. He only goes 2 2/3, 4 hits, 2 runs. All those earned, no walks, 2 strikeouts. Going up against Kevin Gausman for the Toronto Blue Jays, who goes 5 2/3, 4 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts. On the score now or later? I'll give you the score later. First at bat of the postseason, Vladdy Jr. He hits a solo shot out to left field. He gets the scoring started for the Toronto Blue Jays, 1-0. That's the first career postseason homer for Vladdy Jr. Bottom of the second, Alejandro Kirk, he tries to follow his teammate. He smokes one out to left field as well. That makes it 2-0 Toronto. Top of the 6th, bases loaded, no outs. Aaron Judge at the plate. Again, bases loaded, no outs. Aaron Judge at the plate, but he strikes out swinging. They're not able to score 1 run there, not even 1 right there. Come on, Judge. You got to at least hit a sac fly, brother. You got to hit at least a sac fly. I'm convinced he just puts too much pressure on himself when it comes to the playoffs. It's a mental thing. It's the same game, man. It does not change. The intensity probably changes, of course. And so it has to be mental, bro. It has to be mental. He strikes out swinging. They don't score there. Cody Bellinger, he draws a walk. That makes it 2-1 Toronto. Ben Rice, though, he comes up, he pops up, infield fly is called. Then Giancarlo Stanton, he strikes out swinging as well. So they end the inning 2-1. They cut the lead in half. But listen, that was their only chance. In the bottom of the seventh, the floodgates are opened. The floodgates are open. Toronto scores 4 more, and then in the bottom of the 8th, they score, thanks to Alejandro Kirk's 2nd homer of the game. They score 4 more in this ball game. It was a 10-1 victory for the Toronto Blue Jays at home. They take game 1. And we got to highlight Luke Weaver for the Yankees, man. Luke Weaver has not been good. He got 1 out in yesterday's game. We're going to talk about that. He came in and he got the final out. But this is his stat line. And this ball game that we just talked about, he does not record it out. He gives up 2 hits, 3 runs, all those earned, and 1 walk. In 3 playoff appearances so far this year, he's given up 4 hits, 5 runs, 2 walks, no strikeouts, and 3 appearances, and he's only recorded 1 out, which was in yesterday's game 2. Talking about game 2, it was a 13-7 victory for the Toronto Blue Jays. Max Fried was on the mound for the Yankees. Not a good start for our old friend Max Fried. He goes 3 innings, 8 hits, 7 runs. All of those earned, 2 walks, just 1 strikeout for the Blue Jays. Trey Savage. He shows how much of a savage he is. He goes 5 1/3 of no-hit baseball. The rookie, 5 1/3 of no-hit baseball, 1 walk, 11 strikeouts. The kid is absolutely filthy. The first strikeout that I saw, it was against Trent Grisham. That splitter, the way he has a super high angle on his release pitch. I think he has the highest angle. The way that splitter drops is filthy, man. And you saw it in this game. 11 strikeouts for the rookie Trey Savage. Bottom of the second, early Clement, he hit a 2-run homer. That got the action started. Bottom of the third, Toronto, they're able to score 3 more. That was a 5-0 ball game at that point. Bottom of the fourth, though, this was a dagger, bro. Big dagger. Vladdy Jr. grand slam off of Will Warren. That made it 9-0. Toronto, Darren Varsho, bro, he was going crazy. He goes 4 for 5, 4 runs scored, 2 doubles. The guy won 2 doubles, 2 homers, 4 RBIs. You kidding? He single-handedly beat you, bro. He single-handedly beat you. The Yankees are able to score 7 later on in the ball game. It wasn't enough. It was not enough. Toronto, 13-7 victory. They now lead the ALDS 2-0. One more win is going to punch them and take it into the American League Championship Series. We'll see if the Yankees are able to hold them off in game number 3. That's going to be on Tuesday, not tonight, but that's going to be on Tuesday. There's going to be Shane Bieber going up against Carlos Rodon. That's going to be at 8:08 p.m. Eastern start time. So keep an eye on that one for tomorrow. But again, Toronto leads the Yankees 2-0 in the series. Next, we went back to the National League. We got the Los Angeles Dodgers at the Philadelphia Phillies. It was Shohei Ohtani on the mound for the Dodgers. 6 innings pitched for him, 3 hits, 3 runs, 1 walk, 9 strikeouts, going up against Christopher Sanchez, the lefty. For the Phillies, 5 2/3 from him, 4 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 8 K. And listen, the bank was jumping. The bank was jumping heavy. JT Realmuto, he got the scoring start in the bottom of the second. He had a 2-run triple. The Oscar Hernandez, El Gino, he lets the ball roll all the way to the wall. I don't know what happened there. I don't know if he spoke about it or not. I'm not sure. I didn't look it up. Andy Paez has to come from center field, get the ball off the wall. JT, he's into third. 2-run score, 2-0 Phillies. But top of the 6th, playoff legend. Playoff Dodger legend. Kike Hernandez, he has a 2 RBI double. That scores Freddie Freeman and Tommy Edman. That makes it 3-2, just trailing by 1. And then on the top of the 7th with 2 on and 2 outs, guess who redeems himself? El Gino to Oscar Hernandez. He cranks a go-ahead 3-run homer. That makes it 5-3 Dodgers. Clutch hitting from Teoscar. Bottom of the 8th, though, the Phillies, they are able to load up the bases. Alex Vesia facing Edmundo Sosa. He gets him to fly out to center field. That ends the threat for the Phillies. In the bottom of the 9th, Roki Sasaki, he comes in to shut down the door. I believe he gave up a double, but that was it. He shuts the door. He gets a save. That's a Dodger victory on the road to steal game 1, 5-3 win. And then game 2 is going to be tonight. It's going to be Blake Snell against Jesus Luzardo. I almost called him Jose. Jesus. That's going to be starting shortly at 6:08 p.m. Eastern start time. So listen, but they got about 8 minutes for that one to start. So that's the way that game is going to go down. Keep an eye on that one. And then this one might have been the most exciting. It has to be, of course. It might have been. This is the most exciting series thus far. The Detroit Tigers at the Seattle Mariners. We had an extra inning game for game 1 in this one. It was Troy Melton for the Tigers. He goes 4 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts, going up against George Kirby. 5 innings for him, 6 hits, 2 runs. All those earned, 1 walk and 8 strikeouts. It was a close, very tight game. In the bottom of the 4th, Julio Rodriguez, he sets it off with a solo homer to center field. That makes it 1-0 Seattle. But Kerry Carpenter at the top of the 5th, he absolutely crushes George Kirby and for his career, I mean. But guess what? He does it that very game. He hits a 2-run homer to take the lead on the road. He is now 5-for-11 with 5 homers and 9 RBIs against George Kirby. Those are insane numbers, bro. He got the sliders up all the way against George Kirby. That gives them the lead, the Tigers the lead. And then on the bottom of the 6th, the Mariners, they punch right back. Julio Rodriguez, he's back again with runners on 1st and 3rd. He fights one off to right field. That ties up the ball game. 2-2. The Tigers, they turn a big clutch double play in that inning. It was reviewed. Javi Baez, he had the ball in his glove, but kind of barehanded. He tags the runner, going to second, then he throws to first. They review the play to see if he indeed tagged him with the ball or the glove. He got him. And he got the run on first. Double play. That made a run on third with 2 outs. That gets them out of the jam. The game's still tied up. They go into extras. Top of the 11th with Spencer Torkelson on second. Zach McKinstry with an RBI single to center field. That gives them the lead. 3-2 lead for the Tigers on the road. They go into the bottom of the 11th. Gator Montero, he comes in and he gets the final 3 outs. The Tigers steal game 1 on the road. A big W for them with Tarek Skubal on the mound for game 2. You want to see what happened in game 2? Game 2, again, Tarek Skubal. He goes 7 strong innings, 5 hits allowed, 2 runs, all those earned, 1 walk, and 9 strikeouts going up against Luis Castillo. I think his nickname is La Piedra, I think. I gotta look that up to confirm. 4 2/3, 1 hit, no runs, 4 walks, and 3 strikeouts for him. Pretty good start. He only gave up 1 hit, didn't give up any runs. Tarek Skubal, not a bad start from him. He's able to go deeper into the ball game. But this is what happens. Bottom of the 4th, Jorge Polanco smokes one out to left field. Solo shot. That's a 1-0 lead for the Mariners. Bottom of the 6th, a rematch. Jorge Polanco against Tarek Skubal again. Who has the edge? 6'7", 6'7", whatever the kids are doing now. 6'7", 6'7". It's Jorge Polanco. He hits another solo shot. That gives the Mariners a 2-0 lead heading into the top of the 8th. With 2 on and 2 out for Spencer Torkelson. I was about to say Storkelson. Spencer Torkelson, he hits a 2-run double. That ties it up 2-2. Bottom of the 8th. Mariners fans praying, holding on for dear life, putting on the rally caps and all that. Julio Rodriguez, he comes up. He hits one down the line. He rips that one down the line. Forget hitting. He rips it down the line. Big dumper on second. Kyle Raleigh, he's moving that dumper around the bases. He's able to score. Mariners take the lead in the bottom of the 8th. 3-2 lead for the Mariners. Andres Munoz, the closer, one of the best in the game this year. He comes into the ball game top of the 9th. He gets the save. He shuts the door. Mariners are able to take 1 game at home. It's now tied up 1-1. They're going to be heading to Detroit for game number 3 tomorrow night. Tomorrow, it's going to be Logan Gilbert going up against Jack Flaherty for game 3 of the American League American League Division Series. So those are the games that are going on tonight. Excuse me. I'm bugging out. That's the way those games went over the weekend. And I also gave you the games that are going on tonight and tomorrow. But then Wednesday, we're going to have game 3s of the National League Division Series, and we're going to have a game 4. We're going to have 2 games. Well, let me take that back. If necessary, one of them is guaranteed. The Seattle Mariners and Detroit Tigers is going to be guaranteed on Wednesday. But Toronto Blue Jays at the New York Yankees, that game 4 is, if necessary, Yankees need to win tomorrow night in order to play that game on Wednesday. So we'll see what ends up happening there. And then we have some games that are scheduled in the National League on Thursday. Those are going to be game 4s again, if necessary. That's all we got, guys. That is all that we have. Let me know what you guys think of the action that has gone down so far. Been very exciting matchups, especially that final series that I just discussed with the Detroit Tigers at the Seattle Mariners. That Phillies Dodgers game was also pretty good. That was also pretty good. Big clutch homer by them. But yeah, so we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening with the rest of these games. We'll be back. Most likely, we could probably do a Thursday episode, if not Friday, to discuss the previous games that will be going on. But yeah, guys, let me know what do you guys think of this series that have been going down. Thank you guys for your support. Let's take this techno off. Let's just chill. And we'll catch up next time, man. Thank you guys again for tuning in, showing love on all the social media platforms. Truly appreciate that on our debut season of the Chopsy. So we'll see you next time, most likely Thursday or maybe Friday. Who knows? We'll see, depending on how all these series go. If they all end pretty early, then we'll be able to do it on Thursday. But if not, Friday it is. So thank you guys, and we'll see you next time on the Chop Seat.